A&E is absolute chaos. I spent 15 hours on a trolley, lying on a trolley in a hospital corridor in pain from a broken hip, and Whitfield Ray could not believe she was in the care of the NHS. Care of the NHS? Is it care anymore? It was absolute chaos, like something out of a third world country, said the 77-year-old from Worcestershire. 77 years old and having to spend hours and hours with a broken hip on a trolley. Amazing. The staff were rushed off their feet. Paint was peeling off the walls and patients were being squeezed in everywhere they could, in makeshift bays, in corridors and side rooms. It was horrific. And spent 15 hours in that position until a bed could be found for her. That's bad, 15 hours. I know of somebody who was left on a cold pavement for many hours with a broken hip before a paramedic arrived. I think it was a Friday or Saturday night. Probably because they were too busy dealing with drunks and alcohol-related incidents. Yes, them self-inflicted alcohol-related incidents. Such delays used to be exception, something that happened on the odd occasion in the depth of winter. Now they are commonplace. Latest figures show nearly 40% of A&E patients who need admitting face what is called a trolley wait. A delay of 4 hours or more waiting for a bed to be found. Around 10% are waiting over 12 hours. To put that in context, there have been more 12-hour trolley waits in 2022. Sounds like supermarket rush or whatever they used to call them. So far than in the past 10 years combined, similar pressures are being reported in other parts of the UK. And here we have some charts, reference waiting times. They've increased over November 2010, look at that, to November 2022. You know what, I think sometimes you've got to accept this. The Tories, although for all their lip service of reducing immigration, now we've got it 500,000 a year. It's far more than it used to be. And the record clear, they came into power in 2010, and look at the state of the NHS now. They've allowed it to run ragged and destroyed it. They haven't built up the infrastructure whatsoever. And they used to claim, well, all the immigrants coming in, the 500,000 a year, will be paying taxes. So where's the taxes gone? It certainly hasn't gone into upkeeping the NHS, has it? No, it certainly hasn't. You're being conned, folks. And, I've got to say, I wouldn't vote for the Tories again. I voted them for them once, for us to leave the EU. Never again. No chance. These are the sickest and frail patients, the ones who cannot be sent home. It goes on. And also the delays facing patients this winter. And there we have another diagram. And you can see it's increasing, etc. And they go on about a challenge. Well, I'm sorry. During 2020 and 21, what did they have open in most villages around the country? Or small towns or whatever. Yes, the Nightingale hospitals. And most of the time they were empty, but they spent billions on those places in order to instill fear into people, to make them believe that there's this huge wave of illness coming to them. And it didn't come into fruition, did it? No. But they still put us into lockdown. So don't go saying, that's because everyone was locked down. In fact, being in lockdown exacerbated. They put people in the exact conditions needed to increase the infections, like in the nursing homes when they sent everybody back to them. We're not being tested, and then the nursing homes took a right whacking. Yeah. So what about these? Why don't they open some of these Nightingale hospitals again around the country to help with this? Because it doesn't fit the agenda and the narrative. That's why. And they're not going to do it. They can do it, but they're not going to do it because it doesn't fit the narrative. It was okay to open these Nightingale hospitals to instill fear into the populace over the 99 plus survival rate virus. But when we really need them, they're nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. All these places they had for testing. Why don't they open some of them up?